What is up, beautiful people? Welcome back to Growing With Me, where real is our norm and growth is our goal. My name is Marangi Faith and I'm going to be your host for this channel. So let's get started. So as you guys can tell by the title of the video, today I'll be giving you guys a few tips on how to navigate your first year in university. This is the best time of your life. Anywho, let's get started. So I study at UP, so just a disclaimer, my experience will be based off this one experience because I've only been in one university and I've only been first year in one university. So a lot of the things I say might be around Pretoria culture, but I think university culture relates a lot to each other. So you might be able to take away some things even if you're gonna go study at Vets or if you're gonna go study at UCT, wherever you're gonna be based. Okay, so the first things first, if you got distinctions in matric, let's say you got 5 or 7 or 8 or 10, like however many distinctions you got in matric, leave them at the registration table. Like, don't enter university with this big head of, oh, me, I got 7 distinctions, I'm as smart as they come, I can do this with my eyes closed. Don't fool yourself into thinking that, because there have been many people who entered university with plenty distinctions and failed to complete it because they got a big head or whatever other circumstances arose. Know that you're back to square one. It is not, university is not a continuation as much as they make it seem. It's really a new start. You are starting from the ground up. You need to be humble, because if you go in there with this mentality that I am smart, I can study the day before and still pass, you are gonna see another thing coming. Like, you'll be surprised because it's not that simple in university at all. You actually need to work hard. You know, they say there's those people that are smart and there's those people that work hard. In university, you actually need to work hard. A very small fraction of people that are genuinely just smart in university and don't have to put in the hard work. Like, you need to actually work very, very hard to get by in university. Okay, so that's the first tip I have for you guys. Leave your distinctions at the registration table. And then when you go into the campus, just know that, you know what? This is a blank canvas. Now, the second tip that I have for you guys is to know who you are, know what you stand for, and know what you are and are not willing to do. So basically, just have boundaries with yourself. Because guys, you're gonna get to university, there's no mom, there's no dad, there's no brother. You literally have all the freedom in the world to do whatever you want. And it's also so easy to get swayed with everything that's happening because, like, I came from a small town before I got to Pretoria. I love Pretoria a lot. But I got there and I was like, even the traffic was a lot. I was like, and Pretoria is not that hectic. Like, it's really not that hectic. There's places that are worse. But everything was just so busy for me. I was like, damn, this is a city life. That's crazy. And if I didn't know what I stood for and what I didn't, I would have gone much further off the rails than I did go off the rails, don't get me wrong. But there were certain things that I knew, like, here I'm not crossing the boundary. Like, I'm not doing drugs. I'm not going home with people from the clubs. Like, I just knew that there were certain things that I would not do and I stuck by them. Okay, so that's my advice for you guys too. Like, when you get there, just know the things that you are willing and are not willing to do, because you're gonna get there and, like, literally the world is your canvas at university. You can paint whatever you want, you can do whatever you want. And so if you don't have boundaries with yourself, you're gonna find yourself in a lot of trouble and you're gonna make a lot of mistakes and you're gonna do a lot of things that you're gonna regret and might not have immediate consequences, but it will have consequences down the road. So just know your boundaries, okay? As the second tip I have for you guys. And then the third tip I have for you guys is to attend your classes and attend your tutorials, because the workload in university is actually quite insane. The jump from matric workload to university workload is it's another one, because in matric they, like, you know, they pace you, you're going through the curriculum at a fast pace, but you know, it's still paced. In university, it just feels like they throw this mountain of work at you and it can be so overwhelming. And so the best thing you can do for yourself at that point is to attend your lectures and to attend your tutorials. So lectures are lectures, they just get it. Some lecturers read through the slides, some explain them more in depth. Like, so at some point you will know which lecturers you get more value from going to their lectures than others, but also even the ones that just read through the slides that you already have, my best tip is to still go to those lectures. Because I used to tell myself at some point, I was like, you know what, I'm not going to attend the lecture because the lecturer is just going to read off the slides anyways, and I could just do it myself. But also, I wouldn't do it in the time that I was supposed to be in the class. So let's say my class is at 2:30, and I was like, I'm not going to go. I'd be getting food at 2:30 instead of actually going through the so-called slides that I myself have. So even if you have the slides, even if the lecturer is not the most useful person in the planet, just still go to those lecturers, be doing your notes in those lectures, be consolidating your work, whatever, just be there. And then also your tutorials, like actually prepare for tutorials. So tutorials is where it's like they give you homework. They give you homework during the week, and then the tutorial is where you're supposed to complete the homework and ask questions. And then sometimes in the tutorial, they'll give you a tutorial test at the end of the tutorial. It's usually about 2 hours. Sometimes they'll give you a test at the end of the tutorial, and then you'll have to complete the test based on the work that you just covered. And so it's very important to, one, prepare for the tutorials, because you don't want to get there and it's the first time that you're opening this thing, like you didn't see it for the whole week, and now you're wasting the time that you could be using to ask your tutors questions about what is going on here. I don't understand how to do this, because that's what that time is for. So 100% please prepare for your tutorials, do them beforehand, so that when you get there you can actually make use of the time you have. And also the same thing with lectures, actually prepare for lectures. If you don't pre-read your notes, that's a bad idea. Like, that's just a bad idea. So pre-read your notes, make some notes before class, and then when you're in class also make notes, and then after class consolidate your notes. That's the only way you can actually be able to cover the workload and stay mentally sane. Because what a lot of people do, what I did, is I would just attend classes for the vibes. I'd just show up and I'd be like, I'm here. Not that they take roll call, they actually don't care. But I would just attend classes and I hadn't prepared the work beforehand. And now I get that I'm so confused. I'm like, what is this person talking about? So 100% please prepare before lectures, okay? And also that's the thing with university, is that no one cares if you come to the lecture or not. Like, there is about 500 people in the entire lecture hall. No one cares if you're there. So that's why you need to tell yourself that, come hello high waters, I'm going to show up for this lecture and I'm going to take notes and I'm going to do the things that are required of me to actually get through the semester. And also learn to ask a lot of questions in your lecture halls and in your tutorials as well, because there's one friend, and the whole degree knows her, because she always asks questions. She always sticks up her hand and she'll always ask a question. Even the lecturers know her. That's how many questions she'll ask. I remember asking, but bro, you're so smart, you could probably figure this out. Why do you keep asking questions? Nah, because if I ever need help from the lecturer, she must know who I am, because I ask so many questions in class. So I think that's a phenomenal strategy. If you continue to annoy the lecturer with questions, they'll know, the girl with the afro. They'll be like, yeah, I don't know her name, but she always asks questions. So if, God forbid the day comes that you just need 1% to get exam entrance, they'll know who you are, and they won't they won't be difficult about it. They'll be like, you actually attended lectures and you did ask questions and you participated, so I'll give you the benefit of a doubt. Versus if you're just some random person that they don't know. Again, remember, there's 500 people in the lecture hall. He won't remember you after the first question, but if you keep asking them throughout the semester, he might remember your face. He might not know your name, but he'll remember your face. So just ask questions, be annoying. If you can, be the standout person in the lecture hall, okay? And then my fourth tip for you guys is to beware of academic exclusion, because it is very, very real. So I don't know how it works in other faculties. So my faculty is the NAS faculty. And in my faculty, if you don't pass 60% of your modules, you get academically excluded. So let's say you had 10 modules for the whole year. So 5 semester 1, 5 semester 2. You need to pass at least 6 of them to not be academically excluded. And if you don't, you are going to be academically excluded. And then you will have to appeal to the university before they allow you back to study again. UP also instilled an N+1 rule, which basically says that if it's a 3-year degree, you have 4 years to complete it. So the N is the actual years it should take you to complete, so the 3 years it should take you to complete, but we give you an extra year just, you know, in case there was a hiccup on the road. So those things are very real. Be cognizant of them, because the last thing you want to do is fail your entire bag and then realize that I'm academically excluded and I have to appeal. And you know, it's just a process. It's a very tedious process that you don't want to go through. And things, it's so easy to, one, not be aware of these things, and two, when it happens, not know what to do, because university is very busy, guys. Like I said, the lifestyle, the noise, there's always so much happening. It's very easy for your academics to take the back seat, and so you want to avoid that, because that's a dangerous place to be, y'all. And things, in high school, your environment is curated for your success. Like, you have classes from 7:30 to 2:30, and then, you know, you can go home and do your homework. In university, you, one, set up your own timetable, and two, you don't even have to show up. So literally, if you don't develop the discipline to be like, I'm gonna go regardless, you're gonna be in a lot of trouble. You're gonna be in a lot of trouble, because some days you just won't want to wake up because maybe you partied throughout the day before. I don't know, guys. Like, first year is a crazy year. So that's my 4th tip for you guys. Beware of academic exclusion and the N+1 rule. I don't know if this is only in UP or if other universities have it, but just be cognizant of them. And then my 5th tip for you guys as a believer and a sister in Christ is to join a church or a community of believers, okay? This is so important because, like I said, the world is so loud. And if you don't have a grounding place or a community that can actually keep you in check and pray with you, and you can worship with them and do wholesome, godly activities with them, if you don't have that, then it's very easy, even though it's not your initial desire, it's very easy to get caught up in the world and caught up in the partying and caught up in the alcohol and other, you know, vices. It's very easy to get followed up by the world. So please, if you can, join a church. If you don't have a church, if you get to Pretoria and you're in university and you're like, Marangi, I don't have a church, reach out to me on my gram. I answer DMs, okay? So just please get into a Bible-believing church, and emphasis on Bible-believing church, because there are also cults out there. I remember my mom's greatest fear, one of my mom's biggest fear when I went to university, and I was like, oh mom, I got a church, was like, is it a cult? Like, what do they believe in? I was like, no, it's CRC, you know, like the place to be. I love my church, guys. I love it so much. So yeah, get into a good Bible-believing church and a community of believers. Like, I'm not very denominational, so I'm not gonna say join this. Like, just join whichever church you feel like, you know what, I feel like God has planted me here. I feel like I can grow here, and I also feel like I can serve here. So just, yeah, that's my 5th tip for you guys, is to join a Bible believing church and be amongst a community of believers that can ground you. Okay, and then my 6th tip, guys, is don't prioritize dating relationships. Take this with a dash of salt, but I feel like first year is just, it's so much happening, it's so much to figure out, and it's so much of you having to figure yourself out, right? That being in a relationship can almost be a hindrance if you're not with the right partner. So if you are with the right partner and you guys have been dating for 5 years, you know, go ahead, go at it, you know, stay strong together, but don't prioritize getting into new relationships, because it's very easy to lose sight of yourself and then just, you know, try to start pleasing this other person, and the next thing you know, you're a race wife, guys. Being a race wife is so embarrassing. Please don't do that to yourselves. You're too young and you're too beautiful and too valuable for that, okay? So don't do that to yourself. Just really focus on yourself, developing yourself, growing yourself, and finding your footing within university before you can even focus or become obsessed with bringing another person into it. So yeah, that's my 6th tip for y'all. Again, I say take it with a dash of salt, because I know these things, especially the heart and emotions and feelings and the timing, and you know, it's non-linear. So I'm not saying it's set in stone, don't date, but if you can avoid dating in first year, I say avoid it. Also prevent you from a lot of heartbreak, especially if you're in Hatfield. Yeah, no, guys, Hatfield does have good people as well. You know, don't let them fool you. I'm just saying, it's not easy. It's not easy. But yeah, those are my tips for the first years. I hope you guys found some value in this video and you're able to take something away from it. And honestly, all the best for the year, guys. The world is your oyster. Okay, go get those distinctions. It's completely possible to get distinction in university. I've had people who have a GPA of like 89 in university, so it's not impossible. Just have the discipline, work hard, and just don't give up on yourself, okay? If you have a little stumbling block along the way, like you fail a class test, it's happened to the best of us. Okay, personally, I'm very grateful to still be in university. I love it so much. So just embrace the journey. But y'all guys, thank you so much for listening. I'll be signing up and out.